I have played Project Zomboid for over 1000 hours, but I've never been in Louisville. So I spent here 1 year and now I'll be trying to escape through a military checkpoint. Zombie population grew over a year and now it's close to insane. In this video alone I get rid of 11,000 zombies. And so far I nearly died 3 times. And built a secure base. Day 336. After waking up and reading Reloading Volume 3, I've decided I'm gonna go back to small military checkpoint and check if I can still retrieve some loot from corpses over there. Also, I would still like to visit airport, as last time there was a bit of heavy fog. But first I had to do a little preparation for that. I started with power leveling welding to level 7 and I crafted myself a morning star. And some extra swords. And 2 pipe bombs. Following day I went out to test drive a morning star. It is a bit similar to the mace, a bit higher damage, but less satisfying sound. And the problem is, once you have access to crafted long blades, there is very little incentive to actually use anything else. Except, you know, for fun. With that said, I went to villas by the river and dismantled some fences for steel bars. Got some engine parts. Fixed my van. And I've read a bit of Electrical Volume 4 before going to bed. Preparations for small checkpoint and airport continue. I needed more charcoal for crafting extra morning stars and swords. At this point I gave up on trapping skill. And only reason I was doing it in the first place was because it was scaling damage of Cheval de Frise. And also my carrots were still not ready. So yeah, moving on. Back at base I made 4 more swords and more morning stars. With all that done, it was bedtime and I was hoping for decent weather and no fog tomorrow. Yeah, that's a beautiful weather, but I'm going anyway. And on my way I realized I don't have headlights, so I stopped and fixed that quickly, you know, just in case. And to my big surprise I arrived without crashing a single time. Yay! Okay, my plan was to start clearing zombies on the intersection between airport and a checkpoint. And since I had 2 pipe bombs with me, I've tried gathering zombies into a bigger group. Not the best throw, but still less zombies to deal with. After this, I switched to the morning star, and a bit of explanation. I had this problem going on for a long time now. Sometimes my game will just randomly close itself without giving me any error. I'm already using alternative launcher as it happens less with it. I've tried fresh install, updating drivers, and nothing seems to help. Anyway, after loading back into the game, corpses from the pipe bomb have disappeared. Ha, interesting. For now, I wanted to level up short blunts, you know, just for fun. And because my level isn't high enough, I'm getting tired pretty quickly, so I'll be running back to my car and resting over there. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think zombies can break this fence. I see them bunching up in there, but they're not attacking it. I've got drowsy, so I'll be sleeping in the same farmhouse again, as it's the safest place around. Ooh, I found the dress. Of course, I had to try it. And that's not my color. Day 340. Weather is still bad. And I went to check if the corpses near the checkpoint are still there, as I have not looted them and I was hoping for some M16 magazines. Nope. They're gone. Which is a bit strange because I have the setting on default 2 weeks. I think the fact that this save survived 3 or 4 updates might have messed some things up. Oh well, shame. Moving on. Suddenly, out of nowhere, fog. And I was quite close to leveling short blunts, so that's what I focused on now. After hitting level 5 in Shortlands, I got myself into a car and went to check what I will be dealing with inside of the airport. Looks like there are some nice, big and juicy groups in here. This is gonna take a while to clear. And you know what? It's time to get rid of this fog. Alright, I better start clearing this place. It's Long Blade time again. And I've decided, since I've got Long Blades Volume 5 at base, I'm gonna try to go for level 10 before end of this run. Okay, in next 5 days I got rid of close to 4,000 zombies. Originally I had nearly 7-minute long version of it, but I did feel like it was a bit too long, so it got trimmed down to 4. Let me know in the comments if you would prefer shorter versions or longer versions of stuff like this. I was clearing other side of the terminal, and I'm kinda sad that zombies cannot jump out of the windows. Just imagine this, you're driving past big apartment complex and out of nowhere it's raining zombies. Developers or modders, please fix. Anyway, today was last day at airport. I did not feel like going inside because, you know, reasons. And the number of zombies slain on airport is 3,700. Yeah, swords and machetes are absolutely insane with dealing with big groups of zombies. After a long drive back, I did not crash even once and arrived safely to my base. Unloaded my truck, changed light bulbs in floodlights, sat down and continued reading Electrical Volume 4. Entirety of day 346 I spent at base crafting machetes and swords, as it was time to start properly preparing myself for escaping Louisville. Oh, and my carrots were finally ready. I hit level 3 in agriculture, and unfortunately I won't be needing carrots anymore. So yeah, too bad. And I finished reading Electrical Volume 4. Because I ran out of propane tanks, it was time to visit big warehouse. Again. After unloading 7 full tanks, I also needed more wood that I'll be turning into charcoal, and that's what I end up doing for the rest of the day. On day 348 I wanted to focus again on getting long blades to level 8. I started by killing some zombies down the road from Network News building, and to get 2 birds with 1 stone, I was also collecting clothes from them, as I still wanted to get Tailoring to level 10. As I was getting ready to leave for a place with a bit more zombies, a really nice group started coming out of the apartment complex. I was missing only around 300 XP, but I become drowsy, so I'll have to come back tomorrow to finish the job. And because it was still too early to hit the bed, I started processing all the clothes into rags. Another day, another group of zombies. After I was done with them, I was very close to leveling up, but it can wait until tomorrow. First, I collected all the clothes, and it took me until 2 AM to finish processing them into rags. Because of that, I end up waking up at 1:30 on the afternoon. Finally got long blades to level 8, dealt with remaining zombies, loaded van and trailer full of clothes, and read entirety of Long Blades Volume 5 in one sitting. First half of day 351 I spent processing clothes into rags, and the second half washing them, and I felt like someone was watching me all the time. And it's gone. That was a lot of rags. But now I could spend 4 days leveling Tailoring to level 10. With that done, I replaced padding on my clothes again with new one. I grabbed a torch and went to get more steel bars. And then I spent day 356 crafting more swords and machetes. I don't even think I'm gonna use all of them, but I'd rather have more than run out. Following day it was time to make a move towards military checkpoint. Plan was to first clear road ahead of it, so I'm not gonna have to deal with zombies coming from behind later. By the way, take a look how much XP I'm getting after reading a book. Getting longer blades to level 10 will be a breeze. And when I was at it, I cleared some zombies around Amery Globe office, you know, just in case. There was also a nice group waiting for me near hospital. I've done a little drive near it, I've honked a few times, and went back to base as I become drowsy. With time left in the day, I got welding to level 8. Entirety of day 358 I spent dealing with hordes of zombies near hospital. Got long blades to level 9. And at this point it feels like I'm cutting grass, not zombies. If you can get to this point with long blades, basically every other weapon just becomes obsolete. Anyway, after returning to base, I brew myself a cup of coffee for tomorrow and went to sleep. Following day, I stopped by a small group that was gathering on the middle of the road. And then I continued to work through hordes of zombies near hospital. Later that day I paid a quick visit to Vault Tech building, but I opted out of looting it as I don't think I will be doing any more electrical skill in this run. And since I was close by, I've checked Steely Revolve, but I found only a bunch of steel sheets and rods, but at this point I'm not gonna have any use for them. I had to fix my van again, but instead I found one that was in better condition and nice colors, so I towed it back to base, and I will be using this one now. Day 360 was fully dedicated to preparing myself for checkpoint. I fixed my cars to best conditions I could, crafted 4 pipe bombs, and honestly I could make more, but it feels like blowing up the whole checkpoint would be a bit anticlimactic. Loaded all 9 magazines for M16s and put them in the trunk of my van, shotgun shells, food, and I had 2 cars ready. One that I will park closer to a checkpoint, and second I wanted to leave further away, just in case as a getaway car, if first one will end up being overrun by zombies. Big day has finally come, and it was thick fog, god fucking damn it. Instead I decided to postpone attack on the checkpoint for a while and wrap up few skills that were close to level 10. Started off by reading Welding Volume 5, and I've got it to level 9. Next up was cooking, as it was close to level 10 as well. I threw a bunch of rabbits into the oven and called it a day. Following day, since I started it, I got welding to level 10. Next up in line, butchering skill. Thankfully, Mother Nature has provided me with loads of rabbits. And when life gives you a bunch of rabbits, you squeeze them and make lemonade. Or something like that. Anyway, another level 10. Day 363. Weather is finally good and it's time to make a move towards checkpoint. I left one car near the hospital and drove closer to a checkpoint with a second one. At first, I started with a sword, but after a while I switched to M16 and started blasting again. Unfortunately, with only 9 magazines, fun didn't last long, so I had to switch back to machete. Once it was a bit more clear, I reloaded all my magazines and continued shooting. When I got drowsy, I went back to base, reloaded all my magazines, and loaded M1A as well, since I had some ammo left. There were still more zombies coming out of the hospital that probably got attracted by me shooting yesterday, so I quickly dealt with them. And moved back towards the checkpoint. After some time I was able to come close, and honestly from the distance it doesn't look so bad so far. After I ran out of loaded magazines, I switched to shotgun. Day 365. After waking up and making fresh cup of coffee, I started loading magazines for JS14 and M16, because I ran out of M1A ammo. And the fight continued. By the way, I am the only one that feels like this whenever I'm aiming at zombies. Day 366. I was able to John Wick my way into the checkpoint. And yeah, that's a lot of zombies left. It's time for pipe bombs. Another day, another cup of coffee. After some time, I was finally able to see other side of the checkpoint and my way out. But first, a bit more zombies. With that, last group standing between me and escaping Louisville was finally gone. Finally, day 368. It's really incredible for me how my base has transformed over last year since I moved in here. It's a shame, but it is time to leave. Turn the lights off. It was very long year. I got 13 skills to level 10. And killed over 36,000 zombies. Took me nearly 3 months to record and edit all the footage, balancing it between work and spending time with my partner, and I would like to thank her for all the support she gave me during that time, and everyone who was here from very first episode, and everyone else who joined along the way. All your comments and support you gave me during the time was huge motivation for me to keep going and improving. I'm gonna take everything I learned while making this series and I'm gonna make something even better next time. As always, thank you for dedicating your very precious time to watching my video. If you feel like I deserve it and you would like to see more of my content in the future, consider subscribing, leaving a comment or dropping a like. Everything helps. Have a wonderful time and I will see you next time. Oh, speaking of next time,